In episode 4, Midori Days, Seiji and Midori go into a figure shop to find clothes for her. During the same episode, Seiji and Midori run into Seiji's otaku classmate, Shuichi, who immediately identifies Midori as an anime doll. And all of this underlines the sort of parallel between her and figures, and more specifically, dolls. Midori Days, which is a manga started publishing in 2002 and was adapted in 2004, is a romantic comedy about a delinquent who finds himself gaining a young girl as his right hand through his desire for a girlfriend. And following the course of the anime series, Seiji finds himself doing these performatively otaku things, going to figure shops, doujin conventions, and even being exposed to things like shoujo manga and otaku fan pages. In episode 8, their situation reverses, and instead of Midori being a doll-like hand, it's Seiji. And in this episode, Midori and Seiji go back to the same figure shop. And like episode 4, the doll-like hand is dressed up in very otaku elements, but instead of maid outfits and nurse uniforms, like it was before, it's Kamen Rider and a soldier uniform, further solidifying Seiji's performativity through cosplay. In episode 9, when they go Wonkami, a fictionalized version of Comiket, Japan's comic market, it's revealed that Midori has actually become a fairly popular net idol through Shuichi's fan page. And due to Midori's sudden popularity, Shuichi sets up a booth at Wonkami to sell merchandise of Midori, not only bolstering Midori's symbolic position as a doll, but as well as one couch in moe elements. And after selling out, an auction starts to buy Midori herself, and Seiji, of course, becomes angry. But his anger is misinterpreted as otakudom by the convention goers. And this revelation of Midori's popularity signifies that Seiji's desire for intimacy is not all that far from otaku's connection to moe. After all, it did materialize as a doll-looking girlfriend. But the thing is, like Midori not actually being an anime doll, Seiji is not an otaku, but rather is performing as one. Shuichi in the latter half of episode 9 asks Seiji and Midori for help to get a real girlfriend, a 3D girl. Albeit one who looks exactly like his waifu character. And this plot seems to be a reference to the specific climate otaku were in during the time, that of otaku graduation. In 2004, Densho Otoko was released, an incredibly popular series which at the core is about an otaku who learns how to progress past his supposed antisocial interest in the 2D in order to get with a real woman, a 3D woman. The release of Densho Otoko coincided with a report by the Nomura Research Institute that revealed that during the bubble crisis and the Nikkei stock crash of the 1990s, the anime, manga, and games industry thrived, which pushed this idea to try and reevaluate young otaku as potential husbands for professional women. Grow up and get a date was the sentiment that was pushed from the majority. Otaku should shed themselves of the 2D for 3D women and thus graduate like a university student entering the workforce. But otaku rejected it. Some even planted signs in Akihabara reading, "Real otaku don't get hot for the 3-dimensional." And at the end of episode 9, it's revealed that the real girl Shuichi tried to date wasn't actually the moe character he imagined, but instead being more brutish and unfulfilling to the character she reflected. And thus, he didn't graduate. Midori, by the end of the anime, reverts back to her original self. So while you see Seiji, who spent a lot of time performing as an otaku but never actually becoming one, end up graduating to the real girl, but Shuichi, who was a genuine article, rejecting graduation and staying an otaku. While Densho Otoko popularized a conservative narrative about how otaku should shed themselves of the 2D, Midori Days embraced the opposite. So while you can look at Midori Days as just a dumb, goofy show, I think it's an incredibly apt look into the otaku climate of the time, with a fairly progressive stance.